Now, before we talked about the extracellular matrix, and then again, we find ourselves in the matrix again today on Bio Bootcamp. Today, we're talking about the gut matrix. Let's go. So if you've been watching this show, you know that Stuart Tomc is my co-host, and we're breaking things down. So we've been talking about the Omega Chronicles, but today we're going to focus a little bit on the gut with the gut matrix. I'm going to bring Stuart to the stage. Stuart, are you there, sir?
I am, Nolen. It's great to be back with you on Bio Bootcamp.
Man, let's go. We have been educating people. We've been taking our episodes, breaking them down, putting them all over social media, and we're just starting to gain traction. So I'm very curious on what are we going to be talking about today, Stu?
Well, we've been going through a series of matrices. We're going to talk about the gut matrix today. We've talked about it a little bit, but we're going to keep expanding on it. We're going to do a deeper dive into the gut matrix. What is it, why you should care, and how it can help you optimize your health, your well-being, and even your performance.
Now, why do you call it the gut matrix? Why do you call it not just the gut, not the second brain, but the matrix? Why did you come up with that?
Just being sort of poetic and knowing that on our show that it's this beautiful blend between, academia and entertainment, right? I like to call it edumatainment, where we don't exceed the science, but we get excited about what we know. And I also like to consider it a matrix because the gut is so complicated. It's so mysterious. There's still so much to learn. And what we're learning now about your gut, about our guts, is whoever has the most diverse population of different bacteria in the gut, they have the healthiest immune systems. They are the healthiest people with a huge diversity in the gut. Did you hear a few years ago that they were doing these transplants where they were taking people that did have a healthy gut and a healthy gut matrix and taking some of their stool and taking it out of them and then implanting it into a sick person?
Oh my God, I did not.
And helping them to get healthy. Now here, the FDA stopped it. They were like, time out.
Right.
Because what they figured out was that there was only one donor that his gut matrix, his gut microbiome was so diverse, just like a jungle, right? You look at an ecosystem of a jungle and all those different things that are living there together. There's an incredible amount of diversity. And in that diversity is incredible life, just like with people too, right? With diversity is life.
Right.
Well, when you look at a monocrop where you just corn, and they're throwing chemicals and fertilizers and things on there, that doesn't have a lot of diversity. And then there isn't that much life there. So they found out that this one dude that was the donor, sort of ridiculous when you think about it, that they didn't think about this. You can't take your stool from someone that's unhealthy and then put that into somebody that's unhealthy and expect them to get healthy. That's ridiculous.
Right. Well, you almost said it backwards. You can't take the stool from someone who is healthy and then place it into someone who's unhealthy and expect them to get healthy.
Oh no, that's the only way it works.
Right.
No, you can take stool from a healthy person.
Really?
And put it into, that's the point. That they took it from one healthy dude. And he had this incredible microbiota that was totally diverse. And they took his stool sample, they put it in this person, that person, this person, and they got better. So that they found out that's not duplicatable.
Right.
That's not sustainable.
Got you.
There'd be like one donor, and what would he be doing all day long?
Right.
He's
Right.
donating his bowels to help the world. So that's why what we want to do is get the healthiest, most diverse population of bacteria in our gut, because it is the second brain. And if we can get your gut healthy, we can help you feel better, look better, act better, and just be better. And that's what our goal is here, to make healthy people healthier and to enhance your performance if possible.
Dude, when I tell you, you just taught me something. I didn't even know you could transplant somebody else's. That sounds like my kid used to say. He was trying to say disgusting, but he said it with a B. That sounds disgusting, dude. Like it sounds
fecal
right.
transplants.
Right. I had no idea, man. I had no idea.
And it goes all the way back. Like, they used to take at the Price Pottinger Foundation, they would take like the tooth from somebody that has tuberculosis. They would take their tooth out and then they would embed it in a rabbit. And then all of a sudden the rabbit would get tuberculosis. Like, it kind of makes sense.
Right.
And so we're not going to do any of that stuff, where that's not our job here. I'm just kind of pointing out that it failed. They thought it was going to be so easy. Oh, fecal transplant. We'll just take your stuff and put it in this person. I'm not going to swear on our show.
Right.
You take this stuff and put this in this person and you'll be fine. No, it didn't work like that at all. But we want you to have a bungle in the jungle. Remember that song? Bungle in the jungle. We want that in your guts. And we're going to talk about how you can do that.
All right. So gut matrix, here it is. Let's get started. So what do we have first, man?
Okay. I brought some slides. I always bring some slides. I love to just yash and talk about this all day long, but man, it's nice to come prepared. Your second brain and immune engine, your second brain and immune engine. When you have a gut feeling?
Yes.
And you ignore that?
Yes.
And it doesn't turn out so well.
Correct.
We all know this. People say, I don't know, but I can feel.
Right.
Or when you're when you're kind of like trapped in kind of a real self-destructive kind of loop, you feel that kind of that pit in your stomach, that feeling in your stomach. Well, that's because a lot of all the neurotransmitters, let me amend my language, I get very excited. The neurotransmitters are made in the gut. So it truly is the second brain. And it's also the immune engine. When you are sick to your stomach, you feel sick through your entire body.
Yes.
It's the immune engine, and it's true. And so few people like talking about it. It's one of my favorite subjects. So why the gut rules all?
Okay.
Again, going back to Plato, the gut is the seat of health. Well, the microbiome, which is the sum total of all of the bacteria, and people think it's kind of limited to your gut. Well, you've got the microbiome is on your skin too. People forget
I did not know that. Right.
It's everywhere.
Okay.
And then your skin is part of your extracellular matrix.
Right.
Which we've talked about on other episodes. So the microbiome affects your mood, immunity, and inflammation. So we want people to get their gut in balance as much as we want them to get their omega-6-3 ratio in balance. We need to do these things in tandem. Now, our chief science officer, Dr. Paul Clayton, who's my absolute favorite nutrition expert of all time. Look him up. Look him up. Paul Clayton. I don't know if we'll be able to get him on the show. Maybe we'll try, but everyone can go follow his blog, Dr. Paul Clayton. I think it's .eu. We can find it and we'll share it with everybody. Dr. Paul Clayton's blog. Okay. He coined the term pharmaconutrition at Cambridge. Pharmaconutrition. They laughed at him. They didn't know what he was talking about. Now everybody knows. And then he went to Oxford and he worked with Sir Michael Crawford. And he's the one that developed the xenobiotic product that you know how much I love, that we talk about on the shows, and I'm just going to keep talking about it. Why? I like things that are simple, safe, cheap, and effective. Simple, safe, cheap, and effective. And one day I'm going to do a book, and maybe we'll just end up doing it together for Bio Bootcamp, of all of the things that you can do for free or things that are safe, cheap, and effective, right? Free
Right.
or close to free, and then we'll give the book away for free. Do you
I
remember
was
that
gonna
book,
say,
Steal This Book?
right.
You
I
like
was
the
gonna
idea?
say we're gonna do the ebook and just give it away and let people download it absolutely for free.
For free,
Absolutely.
right? And then we'll show you, like, for example, I'll give you one. Here's the food pyramid. Here's the new food pyramid. And this, what I'm about to share with you, I always got to give attribution, comes from Dr. Colin Robertson. We always recommend this book, Made to Move, by
Right.
Dr. Colin Robertson. I just saw him live when I met you face to face in Houston
Right.
at the big event, and he showed his new food pyramid. At the base of the food pyramid, remember the first food pyramid had bread at the bottom of it,
Yes.
pasta and carbohydrates?
Right.
Can you see why people don't trust authorities now?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I'm not anti, that's not me. I'm just saying, they don't admit that they're wrong, because then they came
Right.
up with the food plate, and by that time, nobody was listening. And again,
Right.
that has nothing to do with idiographic nutrition or test-based nutrition, because all that matters is the individual. In any
True.
case, he showed his new food pyramid. At the base of the whole thing, just guess what do you think should be the foundation that makes up the majority of your diet on the base of just water.
Oh, wow. Right. Okay.
That's pretty good, right?
Right. That is.
I mean, so that's inexpensive. Now, yes,
Right.
probably should have a water filter. I'm not, we're not getting into the water filter debate, but the idea that water should be at the foundation of everything.
Right.
And then if you can have enough of the, when you're dehydrated, you just feel absolutely horrible. That's not good for the gut either. That's not good for your cells. That's not good for your whole body. But once we have the right level of hydration, we start feeding the bugs in our gut the food that they need to produce the compounds that we want. There's a term called secondary metabolites.
Okay.
And the bacteria make these things. So the microbiome, which makes up all the bacteria, they make things. They make things like short chain fatty acids. And short chain fatty acids help keep you metabolically efficient. And they're nature's Ozempic or Wegovy, like we've talked about, the GL1P agonists. The
Right.
bacteria, the microbiome in the gut, when you have the right bugs in the gut, they make the neurotransmitters, acetylcholine for concentration, dopamine for reward, serotonin for your mood. They're made inside of the gut, and even vitamins like B vitamins. So when I say the gut rules all, if you are working out like crazy and you're eating what you believe is a healthy diet, but your gut microbiome is not healthy, you will not be optimized. And that's what we're trying to do here, optimize people. So 70% of immune cells and 90% of serotonin originate in the gut. That's where the immune cells come from.
Right. Right.
If you want a healthy immune system, you better have a healthy gut. And then 90% of serotonin, can you see why people are generally like off lately? Have you noticed?
Absolutely.
Not as happy, right? Not as happy. Well, part of it is, if you're not sleeping enough, you need to sleep enough so you can regenerate those neurotransmitters. But if you don't have the right gut microbiome, the bugs in the gut that make the serotonin, you're going to wake up, your immune system's going to be depressed, your serotonin levels are going to be low. So gut health is central to, this is the most important term we're going to use, resilience.
Okay.
That's what wears out as we get older. Resilience. Remember how you used to be able to just handle something, right? Used to just pop back from something. You're like, that doesn't affect me.
Right.
Okay. There's a lot of the military doctors that I work with, and they say to me, that's what happens. Like these are young soldiers, and they're fearless. And then all of a sudden, they start to hit middle age, their hormones start to drop, they lose their resilience.
Right.
They can't bounce back the same way. And then it negatively impacts their body's ability to repair. If we cannot sleep at night, we cannot repair. So I want people to know when we say that the gut rules all, it rules all. So I want to talk now about the gut and immunity. Now,
Okay.
one of the studies that we did with our balance product, just follow me here for a moment. One of the studies we did with our balance product, it was published in Sports Science. It was called Omega-3 and Polyphenols in Physical Performance. So they gave these football soccer players the balance product. They brought their fatty acids into balance, and then they had some extra benefits. They had an 85% reduction in infection and a 57% reduction in injury. I want to improve the immune system even more than that by feeding the bugs what they need. So if we can feed the beneficial bacteria, we make more of the short chain fatty acids. Short chain fatty acids calm immune overreactions and reduce chronic inflammation. Now, this is really important. It also improves barrier function. What is barrier function? Have you ever heard of the term leaky gut before, Nolen?
Absolutely.
Okay. Has anyone ever fully explained to you what it is?
I've seen a couple of videos on leaky gut, on how food and things can get past some of the barriers in the gut and cause other problems. So I've seen some things
See?
briefly.
Isn't this beautiful? Just how the information, we all have the same internet.
Right.
Right? This used to be secret, sacred knowledge you had to go to a medical school to learn before.
Right.
And again, we're this is edutainment of nutrition. So when you don't have the right bacteria in the gut, the negative bacteria, they eat away. And then there are these two little cells, two little layers of cells, epithelial cells, and they line the gut. And you've got this little junction right here in between all the cells, and it starts to open up a little bit like this.
Right.
And you're right. And then the food that's passing through your digestive tract, it slips through the loose junction, and then it goes into your bloodstream.
Right.
This isn't good. It gets incorporated into cells, and now the immune system thinks that it's a parasite, a virus, or a bacteria. And what does it do? The immune system, boom, launches. And this is what we call autoimmunity.
Oh, wow.
So oh yeah.
So the autoimmune disorders that are out there that doctors are saying, that's because of leaky gut mostly.
Yeah. Now, if you were to say that to a lot of doctors, they're what we call leaky gut deniers.
Okay.
They're like flat earthers,
Right.
They're just, until it's proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, they're like, no big deal. You can kind of just don't eat too much. Do I need to eat a whole lot of fiber? Yeah, maybe a little bit of Metamucil, because this isn't what their purview is. This is our job. This is to keep healthy people healthy. So we want to improve barrier function that equals better immune regulation.
Right.
So that's why I call this, and it's so important to go back to this, that's why I call this the gut matrix and why the gut rules all. Imagine 70% of your immune cells are coming from your gut, 90% of serotonin, and gut health is central to resilience and repair. So my favorite, this is a big statement. This is my favorite. If I was to pick one dietary supplement in the entire world that I would take every single day without fail, it would be our least expensive xenobiotic. Every single day. Because we would need to eat piles of beans and lentils to get enough of the insoluble fiber. And when you read the label of the ingredients that are in here, beta-glucans. Have you heard of beta-glucans yet?
No,
Beta-glucans are so cool. Check it out. That you have an innate immune system and an adaptive immune system. Innate is the one you were kind of given. The adaptive one adapts.
Okay.
And once it sees a new bug, it kind of puts that, they call it in the library. and it can stay there for a long time until you get exposed to it again. The innate immune system is just bam, bam, bam. That's why when I hear something that says this boosts the immune system, I know someone's a knucklehead. You don't boost the immune system. The immune system is the immune system. You modulate the immune system. Okay? What's great about the beta-glucans is that they go down and they just a little bit, they just stimulate the immune system just a little tiny bit to get the immune system activated. Then it has resistant starch. So this is the kind of, I'm not talking about like starch from baked potatoes. This is resistant starch. Then it has the inulin. Inulin comes from chicory root. And inulin is an incredible prebiotic that feeds very, very specific bugs in the gut microbiota. Then there's fructooleosaccharides from chicory root. So they're derived from chicory root. They feed separate bugs. There's psyllium husk and gargum. So this has 8 different prebiotic fibers, 3 different chain lengths to feed the bugs. So it supports a healthy immune response. It helps to tighten up those loose junctions so you don't get food slipping through that you're eating into your bloodstream to trick the immune system. It makes butyrate, which is why you go on a fasting ketogenic diet. It makes short-chain fatty acids because they help to optimize your metabolism, like Ozempic and Wegovy and the GO1P agonists. And there are times that I have taken this, I was not feeling my best, exhausted, traveling, got a little something. And instead of taking all of the things that we normally take to help support our immune system, you take a couple of extra scoops of the xenobiotic, you feed the bugs in your gut, and you let your microbiome matrix do its magic, because the gut is everything.
Hey, you know what? We're going to take a short break right here, and then we're going to come back and finish up this episode of The Gut Matrix when we get back.
6.3 billion people are not getting enough omega-3s. Omega-3 is an essential fatty acid. We need to get our omega-3s from the food we eat, or by taking supplements with fish oil. Antioxidants ensure the omega-3s stay fresh and potent, so our body can absorb the nutrients. But not just any antioxidants will get the job done. Polyphenols are the game changer. Powerful micronutrients working in synergy with the omega-3s to slow down oxidation and optimize absorption in order to offer long-term health benefits to your body. The refining process will rid the fish oil of virtually all mercury and PCBs. Unfortunately, this process also washes out the natural polyphenols in the oil. This is why most modern omega-3 supplements have little effect in the body. Polyphenols from pre-harvest olives are the plant-based equivalent to the antioxidants naturally found in seafood. This is a fact often overlooked by the fish oil industry. It puts our Balance Oil Plus in a league of its own. Our synergistic formula brings the magic of polyphenols and omega-3s back together. This is a revolution in omega-3 supplements. Our supplement is actually closer to oily fish than fish oil. We've captured a true force of nature. All you have to do is put our product to the test, literally. The Zenzino Balance Test is at the heart of our balance concept. You take the test before you start using our Balance Oil Plus, and then again after 120 days. This way, you get to see for yourself if your essential fatty acid levels have been restored. And we get to prove that our supplements really work. Let's take the guesswork out of a healthier way of living. Find out if you're in the clear, or if it's time to act now to maintain normal physical and mental functions in your body. From the pioneers of test-based, personalized nutrition. Zenzino. Inspire change in life.
And we're back. Just wanted to show people what we had as far as more information on the xenobiotic. And so as we're finishing up, Stu, you've really enlightened me on the autoimmune disorders, right? I actually have a friend, her name is Zarel. She's over a lupus foundation. So I'm definitely sending this to her, right? So many times people are having problems and they're saying they don't even know what's wrong. And then as they get to the end of it, they're like, it's an autoimmune disorder and maybe this can help them. Man, this was a great show as we talk about gut matrix. What else you want to share with us before we go?
I just want to keep reiterating, and I think our audience gets it. If you do have one of those situations, then please bring this information to your primary care physician. That's what we want you to do. We want you to engage with your doctor. You know, for so many years, Nolen, I wouldn't tell my physicians what I was doing because I thought that they would either judge me or tell me that I couldn't do that.
Right.
What's changing right now is who's actually the boss of your health. Are you the boss of your own health? Or are you outsourcing that to somebody else? Are you a people pleaser inside, kind of dysfunctional, codependent? You need approval from your primary care physician. Obviously, when you have under the care of a physician, that is different. We support science and medicine on Bio Bootcamp. We're not conspiracy theorists in the least. Right. We're talking to you about nutrition and your God-given right and your responsibility to stay healthy. And just think about it for a moment, how much money we're hemorrhaging as a country. We're the richest, most powerful country in the world. And what are we ranked in our health outcomes? It's ridiculous.
Right.
It's not working out. So if you think about the products and the suggestions that we make here on Bio Bootcamp, we're not breaking the bank. These are simple, foundational things that every single person needs. Every human being needs a healthy inflammatory response and the right cell membranes. Check. Every human being needs a healthy gut microbiota and a diverse population of bacteria in the gut and healthy digestion, healthy metabolism. Check. Every single person needs to be able to sleep properly through the whole night. And we haven't even gone into our micronutrient product. We're going to be doing that in future shows. So that's the one thing I want to remind people as you listen to the show and you follow what we are suggesting that you look into, that it's foundational. They're tools in the tool chest. And I beseech you to please learn about it. I really want to keep recommending Made to Move by Colin Robertson, the Chief Product Officer from Zinzino, so you can get a much deeper idea of the science and the logic behind all of the products and all of the tests that we have the privilege of representing as independent partners.
Absolutely. And I want to thank you for breaking things down the way that you do. And I want people to understand that you can take tests to find out what's working for you. Very soon, you're going to be able to take a leaky gut test right here on Bio Bootcamp. The test that we've been talking about is the balance test. Are your omega-6s and your omega-3s in balance? Go to biobootcamplive.com. Follow us everywhere, Bio Bootcamp Live. That's everywhere on Bio Bootcamp Live. And so I want to definitely thank you, Stu, for breaking things down. I'm looking forward to this gut health test that we'll be able to give around October and November. So you guys keep tuning in. We're releasing information every day. I'm Nolen Davis, and until next time, love to live, live to love, and be well.